So off track.
No, we're all we're going all over the place, and that's okay. Completely. You know what? We can do whatever we want. You are listening to What's Next? Conversations with Boomers. And we're back. We didn't record for a few weeks just for various reasons, guest schedules and all sorts of things. Anyway, we're back and we've got Denise with us today. You know, our friend, Denise Torgerson, one of our favorite, very favorite regulars. So I'm going to ask a question, not to Denise yet, but just to all of you listening. What is it in life that you value? Have you ever taken the time to really think about that and really assessed it in terms of, I value this, and this, but why do I value that? Why have I chosen that value? Why is that important to me? So today, Denise and I are going to do a bit of a deep dive into values and assessing values. And Denise has a lot more knowledge than I do around how do we discover what our values are. And she's going to share some things that she's been doing with people to do that. Welcome back, Denise.
Hi. Nice to see
Hi.
you.
It's so good to see you, as always, as always. We've mentioned this many times before. We have both worked as coaches, and in our coach training, we were taught about value assessments, and we did it with our clients. So Denise, why did we do that? What was the purpose of it?
So I just want to say, because I don't think you were 100% clear on what a value is. So when we do an assessment, it's to find out what's important to us in our life, what grounds us, what gives our life meaning. So I just wanted to say that first. So as a coach, doing values assessments with people helped us to help them become self-aware and to help them align. If you have a value, but your goals aren't aligned with your values, you're not going to be very motivated to meet that goal, right? So that would be used as a piece of information to help our clients align themselves with their goals and beliefs. It helps to make decisions. It helps with resilience. If you know what's important to you, that can become an anchor. I'm holding myself down. Like an anchor can hold you in your place when life's knocking you about a bit. And I think when we are able to live our core values, happier is the wrong word, but a more serene life. We're not in as much conflict.
You mentioned self-awareness, and I think that is a really important piece of it.
Oh yeah.
And alignment.
Yeah. Our value is like a guiding star. It's like our true north, you know? And if we go through the exercise, some people are quite surprised by what they end up with. You know, you start the exercise with all of these values are very important to me. And then at the end, you end up with 5. And then they can see the through line. They can see how particularly older people, boomers, can see how those values, without them knowing even, have guided them through their life. Yeah. And so it's a pretty empowering exercise.
I think it is. And sometimes it's very easy to get a value confused with a like, right? I really enjoy this. Is that necessarily a value?
Right. To be confused with a like, with a need, with a should, right? Yeah, I mean, I just did a values exercise on a woman a couple of weeks ago, and it was really interesting to me because we use cards. So what was this big of all of the values that were so important to her, and I was making her whittle them down. And her words were, "Oh, I don't need to do that anymore. I don't need to be like that anymore." So she was confusing or intertwining values with shoulds and values with likes, for sure. For sure.
The shoulds is a big thing.
Hang on, Barbie. I'm going to get the cards so you have a visual of what I'm talking about, if that's okay.
Yeah.
I think these ladies are millennials that made these values. So
really?
Some of the words they use and some of the definitions are different than I might think. Anyways, but they're good. So yeah, so we start with most important, kind of important, not important at all. Yeah, so there's all these words that have meaning, and some of them will stick for you and some of them won't. And so always the exercise starts with people that this is most important to me. That pile is really, really big. And so we kind of move the other two piles away and start parsing through that pile. And so I say to them, the goal is to get down to about 5, but most people can get down to 10. And then it becomes a real struggle. And it's really about figuring out what is important. And so when I say my friend was letting go of values as we were going through them, because she's older and her life is different, she's not working anymore. She's a great grandma, not a grandma anymore. Her grandkids have grown up. All of these things have changed. So all of the things that were important to her that she needed to keep doing in order to maintain her lifestyle, a lot of them she didn't need to do anymore. So for her, going through the values exercise, her clarity came about, oh yeah, no, I can let go of that. So they weren't really values, they were shoulds. I should do this, I should do that. Yeah, so it was really a cleanup for her. It was really quite positive. Yeah.
It's another one of those things where we've got message from society. These are things that you should value.
Yes.
And then, as we go through life, we find out that some of those things we don't really value. And you do find out by what you choose to do, right? How do you choose to spend your time? And certainly once you retire and you don't have the leadership of a supervisor or a boss, you're now your own boss, you've got full agency. It's really interesting how you choose to spend your time. Do you find that, Denise?
I just did a values exercise on myself today before doing this poll. And it was really funny because the first value that popped out and continued to pop out at me was clarity. And since I've been retired, I don't really have a lot anymore. And so I'm like, oh, no wonder I'm so uncomfortable. I need to kind of find that place that I can put my energy towards, right? So, yeah. I was listening to an interview yesterday, and Chris Willard is his name, and he said, so it's like, well, this is what I'm doing, but who do I want to be while I'm doing what I'm doing? And values that is a lot around who do I want to be while I'm doing what I'm doing. And when we can align our behaviors, our doing with our values, it's a pleasant walk, you know?
Well, I think you can live more authentically when first of all, to get clarity on what exactly are your values, and then align your actions with those values. I mean, I certainly do this with myself. And when I worked with people, with clients, it's asking them how they feel in their body. Because your body will tell you, you're uncomfortable, you're not comfortable. And if you're not comfortable, there's a misalignment there. And sometimes it's something where I know I know I should be jogging, but oh man, I hate it. Or I, I know I should be. I know I should be. I don't know, eating kale, but because I value my health, or I don't know. But those are poor examples. But you know what I'm getting at. It's when you can actually feel, when I'm doing this, when I'm with these people, when I'm at this place, I feel most safe. I feel most at home. I feel most myself.
I used to call it right room, a
The
right room,
right room. Yeah.
room experience.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how I define it. Also, when you were talking about the body, people talk about where do you feel it in your body? How, is it tight? Is it loose? Is it for me, it's not like that. It's more of this is going to sound really weird, but I know that something has landed correctly because I have like an inner posture. It's like I don't stand up straighter in front of people, but inside my body, I can feel myself going, oh yeah, my inner stance becomes stronger when I know I'm on
Mm.
the road. Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
So give us a little bit of a lesson on how. So number one, I want to know what was your experience working with, because I know you were specifically working with boomers, and you wanted to know, had their values changed over time? So I want you to talk about that. And also just show us how the exercise works.
Sure. So I will say that no, first of all, it was really empowering for the people that I did the exercise with, really empowering for them. And yeah, I think our core beliefs, our core values, they're kind of with us. Like I said, they guide us through our whole life. Some of them are not as important at different times, or they're manifesting differently. So one of the ladies, she's now retired, right? One of her values, I think, was generosity. And so as a retired woman on a fixed income, she is still able to live her value of generosity, but not through finance, right? Now she's living it through her time and through how she contributes to the world, right? So like that. I don't think they change, but how we do them might change, you know?
Right,
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a good example. Yeah.
yeah.
I value generosity, but if you're not in a financial position to do it fiscally, we do it with time, giving somebody our time, doing things for people can be any number of things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So can you give us another couple of examples of how, when the people that you worked with, how, if their values changed, and what did they change from? They changed from this to that, or that it was something they valued before and now they no longer.
Yeah. I think when we're in the working world, our values are a little bit different, or can be a little bit different, or we express them differently. So excellence as a value, when we're working, excellence becomes a really important part of how we move through our day. Not everyone. If you have that value, retiring allows us to let go of the leadership, even sometimes the purpose, the excellence, the success. Those can now sort of reside in the background. And very often, as we get older, our values are around legacy and connection and contribution. Soft, I don't want to say softer, that's not the right word, but not as driven, or not as driven. Yeah.
Contribution and connection, those are values, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go into this a little bit more deeply, because there may be people wondering, well, what exactly is a value? I value chocolate cake. Is that a value? So let's kind of be a little bit more definitive around what do we mean by values? Gosh, when you did it with me, there must have been about 50, right?
Oh, I think there's about 70, right?
70.
Different
Yeah.
words. Different words, different ways of being. A value is like a way of being.
A way of being.
A way of being that is important to us. What matters most? So these cards have 3 different stacks. What matters most, what matters some, and what doesn't matter at all. So when I'm doing the exercise, I kind of show or read out loud, and the person picks. So do you want to pick?
Yeah, okay.
So beauty.
It's funny that you say that. I'll tell you why later. Important.
Most important?
Most important.
Yep. Self-respect.
Most important. Okay, what's the other point? Not important, is most important, and
Matters some, doesn't matter.
matters some.
Yeah. How about respect? Just respect for others respecting you.
Matters some. It all
Okay.
depends on the person.
Fair enough.
Yeah, there's some people that I don't respect, so I don't really care if they don't respect me.
Diversity,
Some,
courage, honesty,
most important,
social connection,
most important,
gratitude,
most important,
kindness.
most important. I think when I did this before, compassion, most important,
Solitude,
some,
spirituality,
some,
forgiveness,
some,
inclusiveness,
some,
civility,
some,
fun,
some,
love,
most important,
empathy,
some,
family,
most important. Let's just do 2 or 3 more and then we'll,
mindfulness,
some,
genuineness,
Most important.
integrity.
Most important.
So, and then we'd go through the whole deck like that. And then I would just take away the things that some mattered some and the things that don't matter at all and put them to the side. And then we would take the most important and we would start going through it again and again and again until you got down to about 5 or 10. And going through this deck would give you a lot of clarity as to possibly what your next steps might be, or why you've lived the life the way that you've lived it, where you're out of alignment. If we're out of alignment with our values, there can be a lot of inner turmoil, and that it's good to know that. So to know why, right? Why am I feeling like this? Oh, yeah, it's because I'm not able to be generous. I have to find ways to incorporate that into my world, or because I don't have clarity and I need to find a way to figure out what that clarity is for me now. Mhm.
It's not easy.
No, no.
It's not easy because, when you're listing all of those off, I didn't have any that were not important.
Right.
They all resonated with me as being really important, but as you say, we should just be able to narrow it down to about 5 main ones. I just want to give you a little story about beauty, because that was the first one you said, beauty. And I've realized more and more how much I value beauty. And again, it's all how I feel in my body. So several months ago, I was with this man and we went into this sort of greasy spoon restaurant for lunch. And he said, "Oh, I just feel completely at home here. This is my kind of restaurant." And he told me later he just didn't like any kind of foo-foo, as he called it, foo-foo restaurant. And I thought, oh gosh, I love foo-foo. And then Claire and I were in Victoria and we went for lunch and we decided to go to the Empress Hotel, which, as you know, is a beautiful, beautiful hotel. And we walked in and there was somebody playing the piano and the ambiance was just absolutely lovely. And I said, this is where I feel at home. This is where I just love this. I love it. I mean, not that I'm adverse to going to, Burger King or something, but it kind of awakened something in me because there was an aliveness and, oh, I love this. And just recently I've done some upgrading to my bedroom and put different stuff on the wall and painted the wall, and it really looks pretty. It really looks lovely. And I keep opening the door and looking at it. So then I was thinking, okay, we're going to do this values assessment. Is that something that I like, or is it actually a value? So now you've just told me it is a value. Beauty is a value.
Mhm. Mhm. It is a value. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
I just find it a visual pleasure. And I think I always knew that, but it kind of hit home recently.
It's important to say also, it's not the poshness of it, it's the decor and the design and the architecture. And yeah, yeah, I understand that.
Exactly.
Beauty in a piece of art, beauty in nature. Words can be beautiful, beauty in poetry, different ways
Yeah.
of beauty into our world that I think makes it richer. Depth, there's more depth. Mhm. But other people don't have that value, so they wouldn't agree with me.
Right. What about you, Denise? What values that you had before that may have changed as you've gotten older?
Well, again, those career values, I've let a lot of that go. And
Right, you did say that.
yeah, so, or I've taken the same value and expressed it differently, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's really important, is that, yes, some of these values that we had earlier when we were working, we were raising children, when we are a much more active participant in life, and not that we aren't now, but as you say, we just express it differently.
Right. I'm thinking of a man who in his work life had a very strong value of leadership. very strong value. And now it's interesting because he's retired, but he's volunteering all over town and taking leadership roles everywhere he volunteers. So yeah, that value moved with him. Mhm.
That's really good.
Yeah,
I bet he's really enjoying it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But, like the position you're in right now, Denise, it's sort of, it's a self-discovery exercise, isn't it? Okay, what is it that I value and how am I going to apply that to my life right now?
Right. Yes. Well, I think because it's different because I don't work anymore. I was thinking
Hmm.
to a lot of my friendships always kind of revolved around work, right? And I think that's pretty normal for a lot of boomers. Yeah. So what does that look like now as a, retiree? Do I come out of retirement or, how do I grow? Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
And you're not alone.
No, that's correct. I know that. Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Absolutely. I want people to know that the name of our podcast, What's Next? Conversations with Boomers, came from Denise. And she didn't give me the title, but long before she retired, she was so often saying, What's next? And so I thought, what a perfect name for a boomer podcast.
Mhm.
What's next? Because at some point we're all in that position, right? What's next?
Mhm.
And so I think this is really important and to do these kinds of things, these values assessments, because it does help you where you're in alignment and where you're not. And as we were saying before, to eliminate the things that you're doing because you feel you should be doing.
Mhm. Mhm.
So let's talk about another thing that we did with clients was called the Wheel of Life.
Sure.
Yeah. So do you want to explain what that is?
You start.
Okay. The whole idea is, again, it's another exercise to determine if you are aligned with what's important to you or if you're satisfied with your life. So you make a circle. And normally you divide it into 8 equal parts, so it looks like a pie. And each section represents a certain aspect of your life: family, friends, romance, spirituality. Anyway, some of them are a little bit different, but it's usually around 8 different aspects of your life. And then you rate that in terms of your current level of satisfaction in that area. So family, the very tip of the triangle is 0 and the widest part of the triangle is 10. So if you're thinking, I'm not really happy with the way my family life is going at all, so I might rate it a 3 out of 10. So you put on the as a continuum, a 3 and then a 3 on the other side and draw a line, and then you go into the next one and you do the same thing. And when you're finished, it looks like a very bumpy wheel because nobody has 10 out of 10 out of in every single aspect of their life. But it's a really good sort of bird's eye view of your life satisfaction. And then I used to ask people, okay, let's take one of those sections. Okay, we'll use family again. And if it's only 3, what could you do this week that would make it go from a 3 to a 5? And then we would do another one. And and if you're rating something at 1 out of 10, you're not going to go overnight to a 10 out of 10. But I always found it really interesting to ask people, how can you move that to a higher score just by a little bit, just in the next week or two? Did you do Wheel of Life with people, Denise?
Not often. I did it at hospice as part of our training. We would do a
Oh,
exercise. Yeah. With lots of questions, but basically it was the same. Each section had a whole bunch of questions and then you add them up and then you kind of draw your line through each section. Yeah. So sometimes you could raise your satisfaction by adding something. Oh, I have to do something. And
mm.
sometimes you raise your satisfaction by absencing something.
Eliminating something. Mhm.
So just to say that, because sometimes at different times in my life, I found oh God, it's just another to-do list. You know what I mean? It's just
Mhm.
another to-do list. So yeah, just to be aware that if your satisfaction is only at a 3, it might not be because you have to do more. It might be because you have to do less.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, sometimes, friendship isn't on the wheel usually. And sometimes that means eliminating people from your life, or that means, I really, really enjoy being with this person. I'm going to make an effort to spend more time with that person. And it's all about, again, as we said in the beginning, it's all about self-awareness and feeling in alignment with the things that are important to you. It makes a huge difference to your whole life satisfaction. If you're going around your day and you feel like something's missing, something is off here, very often, if you do both of these exercises or even one, it does give you some more clarity, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I think clarity is exactly what it does. Those kinds of exercises, right? The values, the wheel of life, the environmental design, tolerance. When we talked about tolerations, all of those things give us a window into ourselves and a language to be able to, if you can name it, you can kind of own it, right? So coaching gives a language that helps us stand steadier in who we are, I think. Yeah. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Denise, you are a master at giving language to what people are going through, honestly. In the last 20 plus years, all our conversations, and I will be sharing something with you, and you've got exactly the right word to describe it. It sounds like this, or that's this. And it would be like as Oprah would say, it would be like an aha moment. Yes, yes, you've nailed it. That's exactly what it is. And it's very validating.
Right.
This is a little bit off the values thing, but not totally. Environmental design. Explain to people what that is. I
Oh,
think that's really interesting.
well, it's like a life wheel, but this is probably a whole other podcast. But in a nutshell, Thomas Leonard says, rather than pushing the string and trying to, get somewhere, design your environments to pull yourself forward. And the environments, I think there's 9 of them now, and they're much the same as the ones you listed off, right? Family, community, career, spirituality, finances, health. I can't remember them all, but yeah.
Mhm.
And so thinking about that, so family, if you're tolerating a family member that you need to draw a boundary around, right? So,
Mhm.
right, so by doing that one simple thing of creating a boundary around for that person, it can pull your life forward. You're not pushing, you're not striving. Life is it's like attraction.
Mhm.
I mean, to you.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
It's hard to describe, and you kind of got to do it.
You have to do it. Yeah, yeah. But you do learn how important all these environments are, and it does move you to decide, do I need to expand here? Do I need to eliminate? Is there something that I need to change? And I always think, we've got more control over our lives than most of us give credit to, right?
Even when people are grieving, to point out to them or to help them to see for themselves that right here, I'm really ensconced in my grief doing in this particular activity or in this particular environment. But you know what? Not so much over here. Right. So, yeah. Or, this time of day, but not this time of day. Or just to help people see that because we think it's all pervasive, right? We think grief is pervasive. So to help people see that, oh no, there's this window of time over here that I'm not ensconced in it. It's not all encompassing. Mhm.
Hmm. I'd written down, how often do you think people identify something as their value, but in fact, it's something they think they should do? Like, I sort of think volunteering is something that a lot of people feel they should do. But we do use that word should a lot. I should be doing more of this. I should be doing less of this. I should be.
So we may wrap that around contribution. I
Mm,
should be I should be doing more to contribute to the world, right? And I think that's why most people start to volunteer so that they can continue to to contribute. But you can live the value of contribution within your family and friends.
Absolutely.
So so however that value is being met, and a lot of people will do it through volunteering. There's so many upsides to volunteering. I mean, it's easy to get structure, you're appreciated, all of those pieces, right? I volunteered in hospice for many years before I started working there. Yeah, but I don't think I want to volunteer now, but that's okay.
Right.
Yeah.
You did your time. You did your time. Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
I'd also sometimes you decide I want to volunteer at place X, and then you get there, but you're not in alignment with the other people that are working there.
Appreciate. Oh, yeah. Mhm.
You've like, I don't feel like I really fit in here. I don't, I don't really feel comfortable. And that's worth paying attention to, I think.
Or yeah, and because we have the right to not volunteer.
Right.
If you're not comfortable, then don't waste your time.
Yeah, because you want it to be somewhere where it's a pleasure to go to and you feel good, you can be yourself. I mean, I always think you've got to incorporate some fun into it. You've got to be able to laugh sometimes. You've got to be able to just to be yourself. And if you feel that you can't, then that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I think I just want to say, I'm just thinking of myself. There was a time in my life where I had a lot of shoulds, and they were necessary. I mean, balance isn't always a thing. Sometimes we have a lot of shoulds. So doing a values exercise, I couldn't. I couldn't even get clarity around what my values might be because I had so many shoulds that I needed, things that I needed to meet and take care of and support and carry. So just for people out there that are thinking, I don't know, yeah, don't worry about it. My best probably as you move through the world and life changes, you might be able to do it next time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That just some things just have to be put on hold for
Mm.
a little bit.
Yeah. So we have
Yeah.
too many shoulds or too many needs, wants, values. Yeah. Too many wants, right? Our needs aren't being met. We have to strive to meet our needs. We're not going to be able to live in our values, with our values, just because that's what life gives us.
Hmm.
But you try to
Hmm.
move towards, continue to move towards.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
I think it's important for us to, okay, I cannot do this, this, and this for whatever reason, but I can do this, this, and this.
Mhm.
And of those things, what is the most important to me? Let me spend time on that. Let me put time and energy into that. Since living alone, I really learned how much I appreciate solitude.
Mhm.
I hadn't recognized that in myself before. And I absolutely value connection hugely. And I make sure that I connect with people every single day and have enormous gratitude for the many people I have deep connections with. Equally, I value my solitude.
Right.
And it was it more so than I realized. And knowing that it's okay to spend time alone.
Yes, I very much value my solitude. That's a big value for me. So I'll arrange my day to make sure that I have time alone every day. Mhm.
That's really good, Denise.
Mhm.
I mean, we've talked about self-care before, and I think I put that under the self-care umbrella. When I had 4 kids at home and there was just so many responsibilities and coming and going and I knew that I needed more friend time. And I just thought, I'm just going to make this happen. And that's when I started going to a fitness class 3 times a week. And then there's a whole bunch of us that started having coffee, and that went on for years and years. And so it met that need because
Right.
certainly my family was very important. And I think it made me a better mother because I had that need met, that need for friendship and connection.
Oh, I think so too. Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you, Denise, for coming on again. And we absolutely love it when you come on, because I don't know of anybody else that can contribute to these kinds of conversations quite as well as you do.
Oh, thanks, Barbie. Thanks for having me. I like coming on, so it's always a joy.